Hello, the Mrs. Cherry Jones. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Chapter Four's commentary for such a time as this, the Book of Esther. Hey, one of my favorite books of the New Testament. What? Yeah. Okay, in Chapter 4, we learned that um, Mordecai and the other Jews of the Shushan um, palace area are grieving, and also over the other 127 provinces under the king are grieving. And they're grieving over this decree that Haman has written and told to go out, about the 13th day of Adar, where you can kill all the Jews you want and take all of their things. So Mordecai is grieved. He's in sackcloth and ashes, and he is at the king's gate, which he knows he can't get in. But he was so grieved, he went there in his sackcloth and ashes. And so someone tells Esther, and they come to Esther, and Esther is wondering what's going on. So she sends him clothing instead of just asking what's going on. Like, what's up, Mordecai? But yes, she sends him clothing, but he declines the clothing. And he's mourning and he refuses the clothing. And so she sends one of the king's chamberlains and Hatak, and he goes out and he asks Mordecai what's going on, and Mordecai tells him what's going on, and he also gives him a copy of the decree. And so then Hatash, of course, goes back to Esther, and he tells her everything that Mordecai said, and he shows us a copy of the decree, and he tells her to go unto the king. And so at this point, she is like, huh? What? He want me to go to the king? It's like, you want me to go to the king? And the king hadn't summoned me in 30 days. I could die if the king don't put out the golden scepter when I come over there. And so Mordecai gets this information from Atash that came from Esther, and he is like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, okay, all right. So don't think that you can escape because you're in the king's house. Okay? If you hold your peace, then deliverance will come some other way. You know what I'm saying? Deliverance is available to you. Then deliverance can come some other way. But who knows is if are you in the palace of the king for such a time as this? For such a time as this? Nice. You know? And he lays out that deliverance will come another way, but your whole family will be destroyed. You know? And it makes me think, like, of course, the For Such a Time as This is the title of my series on the Book of Esther. And I believe that for such a time as this, sometimes we are placed in places that we may feel like, why are we here? Why are we here? You know, this reminds me of times in our life where we're in the right place at the right time to do the right thing and to make a difference in the world. You know? Your situation may not be as profound as Esther, where you can make a decision that could cause thousands of lives to be saved. But think about this: the decision that you make in your right place and at the right time could be the exact thing that is of the same importance to God. One of these, such a time as this, things came in the life of my husband. You know, his baby brother passed away, leaving 2 children without guardians. Now, when my husband heard that his nephews were going to foster care, he stepped in for such a time as this. And you're seeing and we're seeing the fruit of my husband stepping in for such a time as this. You are seeing it. We love these 2 children so much, as if we had birthed them up out of our womb as our own children. And we hope that they feel the same. We can't imagine our lives without them, for they are so wonderful unto us. So wonderful. And hopefully they believe the same about us. Let's be difference makers as Christians in this world, and the lives of whom the Lord places in front of us, to bless them with even a word. Let God use you. Previously, we gave place to the devil. Let's now surrender to God. Let's not stir up ungodly controversy wherever we go. Let not our good be even evil spoken of. Romans 14:16. Well, Esther sent word back to Mordecai saying, "Gather all the Jews together present in Shushan to fast for 3 days and 3 nights. No food nor drink." And her maids would do the same. Then she would go unto the king, and if she perish, she perish. Isn't that the way to be? That if we die, we die, but we must speak up for what is right in this wrong world. If we die, we die. Because the Bible says, Paul said, to live is gain and to die is gain. That doesn't mean go out and commit suicide, no. But that means that if you die for the mission that God has placed you on, then you die. But if you do not die, it will not be because you did not go on this mission that God sent you on. So for such a time as this, for you are watching this, for such a time as this. Thank you.